The five best friends. Kiyoshi Fujino, Shingo Wakamoto, Takedo Morikuzu, Zhaoji Nezu, and Ryoji Andre Andu are the only boys enrolled in the formerly all-girl Hachimitsu Academy. Kiyoshi becomes the first boy to speak with a girl when he meets Chiyo Kurihara, an avid sumo fan, and they agree to attend a sumo tournament together. The boys formulate a plan to video girls in their bathhouse, but Kiyoshi drops his phone and has to climb in to retrieve it. Meanwhile, the underground student council catches the other boys, and later Kiyoshi is caught by their president, Mary Kurihara. As punishment, they are sentenced to 1 month in the school's prison, where they suffer constant abuse by the vice president Mako Shiraki. Mako later enlists the help of Hana Midorikawa, the USC's secretary, to oversee the boys. When Kiyoshi returns a baby crow to its nest, he falls from the branch and witnesses Hana urinating on the grass, much to her embarrassment. Mary's father, the school's chairman, suggests the girls are being unfair, and so Mary allows the boys to have up to 3 hours of free time on the weekends, inspiring them to become model prisoners. Later, as Mary drops off the newest guidebook at the chairman's office, she sees a pornographic image on his computer and decides to punish the boys by removing their free time. Kiyoshi formulates a plan to break out by making a hole in a wall behind a refuse shed. When Hana insists that Kiyoshi pees in front of her in return for him seeing her pee, he is rescued by Gakudo. Gakudo catches on to Kiyoshi's plan and offers to help him break out in return for him buying the Three Kingdoms figures, Guan Yu and Red Hair, which available only once every 4 years. The next day, Gakudo and Kiyoshi fake a fight to trick Hana into kicking down the shed which hides the hole. Gakudo tries to distract Hana so Kiyoshi can use the bathroom alone, but Hana corners him inside a stall and again insists that he pee in front of her. However, he accidentally pees over her, and then Mako sees Hana's embarrassing condition. Following the urination incident, Hana is removed from her position, leaving Mako to monitor the boys. Kiyoshi tries a test run through the hole, and on his way back, he sees the chairman burying his nude picture collection. In preparation for a school track meet, Kiyoshi, Gakudo, and Shingo are assigned to watch student belongings, but Shingo goes off with Andre and Joe. Shingo has become suspicious of Kiyoshi and Gakudo spending so much time together, and when he witnesses them taking a shower together, he jumps to the wrong conclusion. Another test run of the escape route results in Mako stepping on Kiyoshi's butt, causing it to bleed, which Shingo mistakenly exclaims is due to hemorrhoids. During an IT class, Gakudo plans to download defecation noises onto his audio player to replay when Kiyoshi is off-site to pretend he is using the bathroom. However, when he cannot find any sounds online, he decides to record his own by defecating in the classroom. Unfortunately, they later find out the hole has been patched up, done by the chairman reburying his photos with cement on top. Kiyoshi devises another plan to sneak out by dressing as a female student, and Gakudo aids him once more by intentionally stripping down Mary's skirt to incur punishment. As punishment for pulling down Mary's skirt, Mako shaves off Gakudo's hair. However, Gakudo's real intention of having his head shaved was to provide hair for Kiyoshi to use as a makeshift wig to sneak out of school. Kiyoshi manages to steal a uniform from the school's laundry room, while Gakudo distracts the laundryman. On the day of the track meet, Kiyoshi places speakers with the pooping audio inside the bathroom and sneaks out through the drainage pipe, narrowly avoiding Mako and Mary. However, Kiyoshi's date is cut short when Chiyo leaves in disgust after she sees Gakudo's hair and the uniform with her name on its label inside his bag. Back at school, Mako becomes fed up with Kiyoshi's prolonged bathroom trip, and she decides to confront him personally. Gakudo watches nervously as Mako kicks down the stall door. When Mako kicks down the stall door, she finds Kiyoshi weeping on the toilet, although he had managed to obtain the figures and return in time, much to Gakudo's delight. However, as they leave the bathroom, Mary appears, and when Mako examines Kiyoshi's bag, she finds Gakudo's hair and Chiyo's uniform. Mary's suspicions of a breakout are confirmed, and Kiyoshi is thrown into solitary confinement. Kiyoshi claims he acted alone, so his friends are punished with a 1-month extension of their sentence, and he is set to be expelled. Mako says they do not have the authorization to carry out that punishment, so Mary pressures Kiyoshi to sign a school withdrawal request form. Chiyo arrives and threatens to sign a form as well if Mary forces Kiyoshi sign a form, so he refuses to sign. Returned to prison, Kiyoshi finds that Shingo is encouraging Joe, Andre, and a reluctant Gakudo to distance themselves from him. Meanwhile, Mary figures that if the boys attempt 3 breakouts, they will be expelled, so she plans to implement a Danshi Tegaku Operation B, or DTO. Hana meets with Mary and Mako to put DTO into effect and promises Kiyoshi that she will take her revenge on him. Mako convinces Shingo to become an informant for the USK in exchange for above-average food. For example, after Andre knocks down Joe's ant farm by accident, Shingo relays this information to Mako. During lunch break, Shingo lures Joe away from his ants, and Mary's crows apparently attacks them. When Joe sees this, he attempts to stab Mary with a sharp stick, but Kiyoshi intercepts him, resulting in being impaled in the butt. When Joe is thrown in solitary confinement, Kiyoshi goes to the nurse's office. Hana appears and hands him a male urine bottle to urinate inside, but when he resists, she prepares to urinate on him. Chiyo walks in, so Hana and Kiyoshi hide under the bed, but with their lower halves exposed, Kiyoshi develops an erection causing Hana to faint. Later, Hana seems to have no recollection of the events under the bed. After a work break, Kiyoshi and Joe make amends. Meanwhile, Mako tells Shingo that she will allow him free time outside the school. On a day out, Shingo visits a local arcade and meets Anzu, another student from Hachimitsu. On returning to the prison, Shingo notices a tiny toy sword in the bathroom and gives it to Mako, not knowing it is a part of the Gakudo's Guanyu figure. Later, Mako discovers Gakudo's figure in the bathroom and threatens to crush it before his eyes unless he confesses to aiding Kiyoshi's escape, or she will have everyone's sentences extended again. Much to everyone's surprise, Gakudo throws the figure on the ground and breaks it. Gakudo confesses their breakout plan to the other boys, and Shingo is shocked at the other boys' forgiveness. Later, Mako reveals the sword to Mary in a serve of peanuts, but when Mary learns that it came from a bathroom floor, she forces Mako to wear a uniform that is too small, and she becomes faint. Concerned for Mako's well-being, Chiyo takes her to Mary's office, where she discovers the existence of the DTO plot. Eavesdropping outside the door, Chiyo hears Mary announces the final phase of DTO is to take advantage of Andre's masochistic urges. Exploiting Andre's desire for punishment revealed in his slave diary, Mako ignores him for days. Meanwhile, Mako gives Shingo more free time outside, warning that his failure to return by 6:30 p.m. would result in declaration of a breakout. The other boys are assigned to fixing the school gate, and while on their way, Chiyo indicates to Kiyoshi via a go move that the US plan to kick them out. Later, Mako's voice calls out punishment time to Andre, leading him to find his diary in the corrections office. In a desperate bid to receive punishment, he breaks through the fence and is subdued by Hana, who declares it a prison break. On their date, Anzu is impressed by Shingo's loyalty and reveals that her meetings with him were part of the DTO plan. Shingo arrives back before 6:30, but cannot open the locked gate which the other boys had repaired, meaning that 3 breakouts have now been committed. The boys are called before the chairman, who announces their expulsion in 2 weeks' time, even with Chiyo's intervention on their behalf. While the boys are discussing the need to find a copy of the DTO to expose the US's hidden agenda, Shingo mentions he saw a copy somewhere. Shingo recalls seeing an email labeled DTO in the corrections office, and Gakudo suggests that the email may still be recovered through a data restoration software. In a plan to take Mako's keys so they can access the corrections office, the boys goad her into an arm wrestling match. Gakudo loses first, grabs her keys, and manages to sneak into the office, estimating that he needs at least 10 minutes to download the software and find the email. Kiyoshi, Shingo, and Joe's matches barely last a minute each, but Andre holds out the longest, losing his match with a minute to go. Gakudo just manages to return before Mako discovers her keys are missing. While the others praise him, Gakudo is frustrated at only having had enough time to download the software. Facing imminent expulsion, Kiyoshi and the others console each other before heading off to sleep. Kiyoshi and the others have lost hope, except for Gakudo, who begins acting irrationally. Meiko allows the boys to choose their last meal, and Chiyo manages to slip in a note to Kiyoshi in the food. Gakudo's fried grasshoppers and rice dish proves so disgusting that he breaks free of his irregular state. Kiyoshi suggests they write an appeal to the chairman for leniency, but after Meiko sees that Gakudo did not eat the grasshoppers she spent so much time catching, she rips up the appeal. However, the appeal was a decoy because Kiyoshi wrote on his form that he knows of the chairman's buried nude photos. Consequently, the chairman offers to postpone the expulsion date only if the boy's preference for boobs or butts align with his. Meanwhile, Hana's repressed memories of Kiyoshi's erection touching her under the hospital bed surface. She goes berserk, wanting to kill Kiyoshi, but Meiko manages to subdue her. Kiyoshi's convincing reply to the chairman's question gives the boys a one-day reprieve. As the US plans their next move, Hana eagerly offers to watch over the boys on their final day. Gakudo's plan to distract Meiko falls apart when Hana arrives instead with their lunch, including phallic orange mushrooms for Kiyoshi. Kiyoshi exploits Hana's grudge against him and offers to sneak inside the corrections office. As Chiyo intercepts another of Kiyoshi's message inside his lunch tray, she gets caught by Anzu, who also wishes to help the boys. Later, Gakudo and Kiyoshi deliberately stage a fight so Gakudo is injured and Hana takes him along with to Kiyoshi be bandaged in the corrections office. Hana gets Kiyoshi alone and gives him a plastic bottle so she can watch him pee into it. Full of confidence, Kiyoshi strips down, but he drops to the ground after being kneed in the groin by Hana. As she prepares to pee on him, she is interrupted by Meiko, who has apprehended Anzu outside. This is a relief to the boys because it means that Chiyo is still free. Suddenly, Hana kisses Kiyoshi, stating that stealing his first kiss from Chiyo is her revenge against him. Chiyo waits for Kiyoshi to unlock the back door of the corrections office where he and Hana's confrontation is taking place. As Hana goes in for another kiss, Kiyoshi counterattacks by sticking his tongue inside Hana's mouth, completely shocking the inexperienced Hana and giving her a profuse nosebleed. Distracted, Hana returns Kiyoshi to the prison, locks the boys in, and heads off to bed. The next day, Meiko takes the boys to the chairman's office, but they are interrupted by news that Gakudo has run amok inside the school and the girls are beating him up. Meiko then discovers that Joe is dressed as Gakudo and Chiyo is disguised as Joe under his hoodie. The boys explain that while Hana returned Kiyoshi to prison, Chiyo sneaked in the back door of the corrections office and performed a three-way clothing exchange with Gakudo and Joe. She spent the night in prison with the boys while Gakudo retrieved the DTO email. As Gakudo passes a USB flash drive to the chairman with the DTO information, Hana discovers Kiyoshi's manipulation and proceeds to punch him, only to punch Mary instead, who confesses to the DTO plan. After the chairman sees the data, he declares that the boys have served their time and are now free. This is the end of my video, so please watching all of my anime recap series. Thanks for watching.